Hello again. Brent here is here. We're back in my living room. Thanks for coming out. In general, whenever you come by and watch one of my videos, if this is your first one or if you've been coming by for a couple already, I just want you to know I really appreciate it. I love doing this. I love being able to connect with you this way. It's kind of a fun project, and what I want to do is I want to talk to you on the subject once again of self-discipline. I return to this subject a lot because it still holds great pulling power for me. It's very interesting. It is mysterious. I just there's so many people that I've known who've been able to just say that they'll do something and they'll do it and be consistent and do it in the long term and reap all the long term results. And I really want that for myself. And perhaps like yourself, if you're here, there's just a lot that I want to do, a lot that I want to accomplish, a lot that I want to see. And as far as I can see, it's just not possible without being able to be in a place where you are familiar with yourself enough and you know yourself enough that you can do something consistently that builds up your physical health, your physical wealth, your relationships, your career, your success, all based on regular application of habit. And so in this video, what I want to do is I want to get right to it. I want to get right to what I want to say and see if anything else comes out after. And what that is I want to speak to techniques and ways that we get ourselves to do what we need to do. So, like the assumption as I make this video is that as I'm speaking to you, you already kind of know what you should be doing. And not should in the sense of like, what your parents think or what society thinks or what your job thinks. But you just know that, what you should be doing, that if you were doing it every day, your life would be better and there's no question about it. And even though you come up with excuses not to do it, you know all the way through that if you did it, it'd be better, and you probably should do it for your own sake. And so what a lot of us do as we're really getting a foothold in our habits is we look online for ways that we can get ourselves to do what we should do. And there are many, many techniques. There are some that are like, have a calendar and just kind of, X, the day and then look at the accumulation of days and feel good about yourself. There's like just the hardcore method where if you have to wake up early to do something, you put your alarm in a locked box and you, put the key outside in your garden so that when the alarm goes off, you have to go all the way outside and get the key and unlock it. And by then you're awake enough to do it. And there's one particularly hardcore method, which I really like, which I've tried once, which is the accountability, where what you do is you take 10% of all your wealth and write it into a check and give that check to your friend. I'll tell you why I'm laughing, because I did this. and you give it to your friend and you say, okay, I'm going to send you an email every day telling you that like I went for a run. This is what I did. Or that you could apply it to, like I meditated or I added a chapter to the book I'm writing. And if you don't get that email from me by 11 a.m., you cash that check right away. And spend it, so that the money's gone. And that would, it would provide a significant impetus, you would imagine, to make sure that you do the thing. So anyways, I did this, like maybe, when I was 19 or something, and I had $1,500 to my name. So I wrote a check for $150 to one of my friends, and it went swimmingly. It was, the idea was that I would run every other day, and it went really well for about a month. And then like this one day I woke up, I was just, I got distracted with something and I just didn't do it. I just didn't go for the run, and I lost the money, and poof, that's it. So like that happens. And so that kind of brings me to the point that I'm making, is that what I found when I talk with other people is that it doesn't matter how good the technique is. It doesn't matter how good the plan is. It doesn't matter how fail proof the system is. If you're not going to do it, then you're not going to do it. And then you'll just end up reaping whatever the consequences are, if it's losing money or the public humiliation or just letting yourself down or whatever it is. And the real deal is that you can't put something in place that gets you to do something. In other words, you can't there's no way to get yourself to do something without doing it. There's nothing that you can put in place that will make you do the thing that you need to do. And what's amazing is that all of us, or almost all of us, perhaps you and me, we will go through so much effort. We'll go through everything. We'll try everything in order to avoid having to actually do the thing. And it's ironic because of all the energy spent. We go from technique to technique to technique. We go from professional to professional to professional. And ultimately, it will all fail if we are essentially unwilling to add that one ingredient that's actually needed in order to be disciplined, in order to get habits in place, which is to be willing to do it, to be willing to actually do it, to be willing to apply effort. So basically, that's the message that I wish to deliver right now, is that you can skirt tons of disappointment by really looking at that one essential quality that you've been hoping this whole time that you won't have to do. For me, it's been effort. It's just like, man, anything but just don't make me do effort. I will research techniques and I'll come up with any way to not do it. So what I'd like to recommend is that you take a moment after this video and just be honest with yourself. Be really, really honest. It's time to be honest with yourself about what you should be doing every day. And whatever that is, to decide, first of all, if you intend to do it at all. Start with that. Start with whether or not the intention is actually there. And to fall on either side of the fence. So if the answer is no, then give up on it right now, completely, forever. You will never do it. Just let it go. If the answer is yes, I do intend to do it, then the next next article in the flow chart would be, when do I intend to do this? Or perhaps even before that, do I think I can do this? And then you stop there. Can I do this? If the answer is no, give up. If you feel like it's like asking, you're being asked of more than you are able to give, then you're at an impasse. It's, you're up against a wall. Just give up, give up, give up. But if you feel like there's something in you that's actually able to do this, then proceed to the next item on the flowchart, which is, when do I intend to do it? When's it going to happen? And it's either now, or you set a very particular time and place to do it. So it would be like, 6:30 a.m. tomorrow, something like that, where it goes from being a theoretical thing and you anchor it into the now, you anchor it into reality, and you are setting a time that will come into your now, where you will be met with the essential choice of whether or not to do it. And so that brings us to the final thing, which is to do it. And so this is, I consider this now one of the most sacred times, one of the most sacred opportunities that ever comes to us. Because if it's not now, if it's like 6:30 a.m. or whatever time it is, there will be a choice that comes into your now moment about whether or not you're going to do the thing. And it's this moment that we've been avoiding this whole time. And it's this moment that we've been trying to come up with techniques in order to avoid it. We're trying to go around it. We try to skirt it. We try to circumvent it. And it doesn't work that way. The only way to grow in the juicy way, like the only way to grow in the way that we so much want to do on the deepest level, the way we want to grow, that is like our great longing, so that we can become the version of ourselves that we want to become. This is where the rubber hits the road. It's our willingness to say yes. It is our willingness to apply effort, our willingness to act even though it's uncomfortable. And it is uncomfortable. It's always uncomfortable. It's easy. We all know what it's like to have a surge of motivation where we just run into this nice wave of energy, and for 5 days we're doing the thing, we're doing extra things, and it feels great. We're talking about how we're going to do it forever, and then it always goes, and then we're left with a moment such as this where we act even though the whole of us is denying it. Physical, feeling lazy, tired, lethargic, mentally distracted. Oh man, there's so many other things I want to do first before I do this. I should get to this first. Emotionally feeling kind of like, kind of just lazy or, depressed or whatever it is. And so what you'll do is you'll get a denial on all levels, because I guess I'm not even sure why. It's just there's a certain, it's so strange, but there's a certain consciousness in the aspect of us that is being said goodbye to, or that is being left behind. Or put differently, it's kind of like it's like a comfort zone that we're leaving. Just as if a chick is breaking out of a shell, the shell is the only reality that the chick has ever known. And when it gets a glimpse outside of the eggshell, it would presumably be very exhilarating. And then, it kind of leads to like pushing and cracking and opening. But when it comes time to get out, it's like, it's a different thing. It's like, it's a little bit, there's, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. So anyway, you'll get that no, and it's a willingness to push through that no. And what you get doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how skillfully you do it. It doesn't matter what result you get. It doesn't matter how lackluster it was. It doesn't matter the state that you carried with you. All that matters is that you acted even though it was uncomfortable. And when you do that, you grow. That's the law. You grow. And then the next time you do it, that part is already paved out for you so that your boundary is further and you can just push it a little bit further. And if you get into a groove of doing that every day, you just push that boundary further, then you just become stronger and more complex and more capable and wiser and smarter. And it's just the most rewarding thing. So that's all. I'll cap it off here. Don't look for techniques on how to get yourself to do something that you need to do. Instead, do what you need to do. Do it. Actually do it. Just do it. And you'll be fine. And it'll all fall in place. The universe will line up with you. It always does. The universe always aligns with beings that are willing to just go for it through any sort of threshold of fear. You'll feel the wind at your back. So may the wind be at your back. Catch you later. Have a great day. Thank you.